Of course, we cannot talk about the Salat Sessions without addressing the concept of the Qibla, which is mentioned in an entire passage in Surah 2. Let me share with you a couple of verses from that passage. Surah 2 verse 142 reads, "The foolish from the people will say, what turned them from their Qibla that they were on? Say, to God is the east and the west. He guides whoever he wills to the straight path." And in verse 144 it says, "We see shifting of your face into the sky, so we will turn you a Qibla that will please you. So turn your face shatra of the place of the submission of the prohibitions, which is Masjid al-Haram. And wherever you all are, turn your faces shatra it. And those who receive the book know it is the truth from their Lord, and God is not unaware of what they all do." Of course, the passage goes on, talking about the Qibla. Let's address a couple of key words here. I highlighted the word Qibla, but we also need to note the word shatra. Let's talk about Qibla at this moment. The word Qibla is often understood that it's referring to a direction for prayer. But this is interesting. Why does the Prophet respond when they asked him what turned them from their Qibla that they were on? He said, "To God is the east and the west. He guides whoever he wills to the straight path." Why did the Prophet just say, why did he respond in that way? Another interesting thing to note, it says, "And those who receive the book know it is the truth from their Lord, and God is not unaware of what they all do." These are hints for us that the idea of a direction for prayer is quite questionable. Let's look at the word Qibla from the root. The root of Qibla is qabala. And in Maqayis al-Lugha, it says qabala means to be face to face with something. And Sihah fil-Lugha says it's the opposite of distance. So we are to be in close proximity and face to face with something. But what's interesting is that if we go to Surah 10 verse 87, it clearly tells us what a Qibla is. It says, "We inspired to Moses and his brother, you shall seek out your homes for your people with boundaries and make your homes a Qibla and uphold the adherence." Is the Qibla that Moses made of his home, was it a direction for prayer? Is it logical that God was telling Moses, make your home a direction for prayer? Obviously not. What this indicates is that, again, if we look and pay attention to the root definitions here, Qibla is simply a meeting location. It's a rendezvous point of where the believers met and then upheld the Salah sessions. And 1087 clearly spells that out for us. This indicates for us that the word Qibla is not about a direction for prayer, but rather it is a meeting location. So let's reread part of this passage. Verse 142, "The foolish from the people will say, what turned them from their meeting location that they were on?" So obviously the Jews at that time, at least, had a direction for prayer. But this is what the Prophet responded to them. He said, "To God is the east and the west." Right? So this indicates that the Prophet was telling them, hey, God is not in any place. He's not in any physical location. It doesn't matter in which direction you are in, because the word Qibla in of itself means a meeting location. Look at this. "We see shifting of your face into the sky, so we will turn you a meeting location that will please you." And this is why at the end of this verse it says, "And those who receive the book know it is the truth from their Lord, and God is not unaware of what they all do." So the word Qibla simply signifies a meeting location, and it's not a direction for prayer, because to God belongs the east and the west. But there's more to this. The next word we need to address is the word shatra. Note here, it says, "So turn your face shatra of Masjid al-Haram." If God is talking about a physical direction for prayer, then this word shatra should not be there. The verse would still make perfect sense in Arabic without this word. God could have just simply said, "So turn your face towards Masjid al-Haram," or to Masjid al-Haram. But he says, "Shatra Masjid al-Haram." So what does shatra mean? Shatra comes from the root shatara. And in Maqayis al-Lugha, it says taking one half and leaving the other half of something. And also in Lisan al-Arab, it says to look at one thing and another thing at the same time. What does this teach us? It means that when we take one half of something and leaving the other half at that location or that area, it signifies that we are simply taking the impression and the notion from it. You see, God says, turn your face shatra Masjid al-Haram. And what is Masjid al-Haram? Masjid al-Haram is an area or a location, at least at that time, that was considered quote-unquote sacred. It was a place in which people did not fight. There was peace. They respected each other. There was no fighting, no killing. That's what Masjid al-Haram was all about. Okay? And so God is telling us, so turn your face shatra, taking half of Masjid al-Haram. Wherever you all are, turn your faces taking half of it. Okay? So wherever we go, wherever we meet, we need to take the impression, the taking of half, the impression, the notion of Masjid al-Haram with us. That means our meeting location needs to become Masjid al-Haram as well. It needs to become a place of sanctity, a place of respect, a place of peaceful gatherings, and so forth. This is what shatra means. So this is the idea behind the whole concept of Qiblah. Qiblah is a meeting location, and we are to take shatra, Masjid al-Haram with us when we go to these meeting locations. That is all that this passage is talking about. It's not talking about some type of direction for prayer. And so to further reinforce this, we just simply need to look at the context. Verse 148 of Surah 2 says, "And to each is a direction that he will take. So you shall race towards good deeds. Wherever you may be, God will bring you all together." Wherever you may be, God will bring you all together. This all together signifies that the Qibla is a meeting location. The direction is unimportant. Look at this, verse 177. Piety is not turning your face towards the east and the west. Okay, so again, God is further telling us that direction is not important. What matters is the meeting location and that you are taking shatra, Masjid al-Haram, with you. This is what the Qibla is all about.